Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are going through really 7 characteristics of ministry, and it's entitled My Offense is My Defense. And we're talking about how Paul is defending his actions and his time spent with the people of Thessalonica, in defending it against people that were guys that were accusing Paul falsely. So he just basically tells what he did there in Philippi, and his defense is really, he's telling what he did in his offense. Okay, and I talked about yesterday how if you're playing soccer and the ball is always in front of the opponent's goal, that's your best defense, because the ball is always up there. They're having to work real hard to keep that ball out of their goal, their goal. But the fullbacks and so forth on my team can sit back and relax, really, because the offense is playing the whole game, and so a good offense is a great defense. So I'm going to read here today. This is taken from 1 Thessalonians 2 verses 1 through 6, and today's point is this: motivation is pure. Okay, Paul's motivation is pure, and ours should be pure also. So let me read 1 Thessalonians 2 verses 1 through 6. You know, brothers and sisters, that our visit to you was not without results. We had previously suffered and been treated outrageously in Philippi. As you know, but with the help of our God, we dared to tell you of his gospel in the face of strong opposition. So we covered those 2 verses yesterday. Now pay attention to verse 3, because this is where we're getting our characteristic today. For the appeal we make does not spring from error or impure motives, nor are we trying to trick you. On the contrary, we speak as those approved by God to be entrusted with the gospel. We're not trying to please people, but God who tests our hearts. You know, we never used flattery, nor did we put on a mask to cover up our greed. God is our witness. We were not looking for praise from people, not from you or anyone else, even though as apostles of Christ, we could have asserted our authority. All right. So this is today, the point, the characteristic really is, and this is number 2, is the motivation is pure. And so we get that from verse 3, where Paul says, for the appeal we make does not spring from error. Okay, so they weren't without error. The Word of God is true. There's no error in it. Okay, so their motivation is not with error or impure motives. I have to watch myself. Am I doing things out of impure motives? And impure motives is this: if I'm trying to do things to please myself rather than please God or other people. Okay, all right. So, for example, let's say I'm just doing something. I have to look at it: is this pleasing God, or am I doing it out of my own flesh? Okay, what can I get out of it is what I'm thinking. But the way we should be looking at things is, how does this bless God, and how does this bless other people instead of my flesh? Okay, so there's all kinds of things. You could evaluate everything in your life as you're going through the day. Is this something that pleases my flesh? And naturally, there's things that please my flesh. If I want a cheeseburger for lunch, I'm probably going to get a cheeseburger for lunch, and that's pleasing my flesh. But we need to look at things too. Is it pleasing to God? The hamburger is not pleasing or displeasing God. But and then also, are we honoring the people around us too? If I'm see a hamburger in someone else's hands and they're getting ready to eat it, and I go and steal it from them, again, I'm pleasing my flesh, and I'm stealing from that guy. Well, I'm not considering the other person or God's commands at that situation. So Paul is saying in ministry, there's no error, and the motives are pure. Okay. Then also he says here, nor are we trying to trick you. Okay. So that's the other thing. when you're sharing the gospel, you don't have to use tricks and stuff. You don't have to, have a, deceive the person into thinking, that they need Jesus. We just tell them the truth. You need Jesus, and this is why you need Jesus. There's no tricks at all. So, some cults and false religions come along, and they try and trick you into doing things, manipulating you. Okay, we should never be people as ministers or people sharing the gospel. We should never be manipulating somebody to benefit myself or something else. It should always be to benefit God and to others. Okay, so it all comes down to, is our motivation pure? Okay, is our motivation pure? First of all, in our ministry, and you can just self-evaluate that. Is your motivation pure in your ministry? And then in your Christian walk, in your walk with God, is your motivation pure? Okay, and if it's pure, you're like, how can I seek the Lord? How can I walk closer to Him? If it's impure, it's like, what can I get out of this? What can I get out of it? That's where it becomes impure. All right, so something to think about that. So yesterday's characteristic was, it's not an easy road, and today's was, the motivation must be pure. All right. Hey, thank you for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey looking at 1 Thessalonians. Lord's blessing. I'll see you tomorrow.